The current spoiler warning level is Azure.
Friends and folks, for this episode, you're looking at a spoiler warning level of Azure. We're talking about machines from Gundam Build Fighters Try. And pretty early in the show, obviously the Great Gundam Project has already finished watching this one, so not spoilers for them, and then some spin-off material. But even if you haven't seen the show, I don't think this really matters at all. Please enjoy the episode. Hello friends and folks, and welcome back to another episode of Mechanista and G, and we will continue to chart the unknown waters. I'm Six Detmar.
And I'm Dylan.
Got some dice here, y'all know how this works by now, I suspect.
I mean, every episode could be someone's first.
It could. But,
This week it would be really funny if it was the second episode we are releasing in the week, though. Like, what a weird place to start. You're right, it is weird, but...
It'd be odd. It'd be odd. And at that point, I feel like you've chosen to drop into the middle of something, and so I don't feel bad for dropping into the middle of something.
You know what? Fair enough.
Oh, I fell off the table. Come back.
Oh, well.
This is how you can tell it's real dice. Okay, sure. That's fine.
Okay.
Good. A body part. Here you go.
Alright. Is this the Ez-SR?
This is the Ez-SR.
Sorry, these colors just gave it away immediately.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably why you gave me such a weird, the foot, right?
Yeah, I feel like I always give you the knee, and that gets a little predictable.
Yeah, we've done the Ez-8, right? I mean, we had to have. There's no way we haven't.
I don't know.
Yeah, okay,
Maybe.
Yeah, we just never covered the Ez-SR. We covered the Ez-8, Gym Ground type. Okay, cool. Gundam Ground type, etc. Okay, just was making sure. Look. We've been
no
doing
one
this show
said
a long
anything,
time.
Dylan. You
I
got
know,
so
but you
defensive over nothing.
You sounded, exasperated that I asked it.
No, we must have.
Okay.
Persecution complex is remarkable.
Wow, okay. Alright, whatever, okay. Anyway, this is the Ez-SR-1 Intruder. We'll be covering a couple of these units. Do we want to just put them all up on screen? Because they have some differences, but they also have a lot of similarities.
Sure, it's the Intruder and the Eliminator and the Shadow Phantom?
Yeah, those are the three that we would cover together. Those are the ones that are a team together.
Okay.
Machine's way too cool, even though they are just, an enemy of the week, and also, admittedly, not all that cool in the actual show itself. But I like these machines a lot.
I also think their color blocking is really boring. Their colors are good, but the blocking is not compelling to me.
Yeah, don't worry, we'll get to better ones. Alright, so the Ez-SR, this is a mobile suit that is used by a team of people in Build Fighters. They are Team SRSC, which we don't actually know what that stands for. It's just SRSC. And yeah, they're just an enemy of the week from Build Fighters Try. So, starting with the heads on these machines, we have 3 different heads going on. I should also note, these are clearly doing Dragonar references with the combat roles and what they're doing, even though they also combine those with Gundam references. So, for the main head on these units, or for the leader of them, I should say, the Ez-SR-1, we have a Gundam head with a very interesting V-fin here. We've got, it's not really a 4-head gem, just a 4-head piece. And then we've got these 2 swept back V-fins that are pointing kind of straight up and back. Do you have a Mohawk camera? Gray around the sides of the head. We don't really have head Vulcans here. It does have this little opening here, but I don't think it actually has head Vulcans or anything going on with it. Not really any vents, just kind of thick armor on the cheeks here. Green eyes with white running underneath, and pretty much a very standard Gundam face for this main one. Just a mask, it's got some lines running down the eye area into the chin, and then you've got a white chin here. For the SR2 variation, we have a very gun cannon-esque head. The forehead area is a bit thicker. It omits the V-fin altogether, and it being thicker, it has a smaller mohawk camera on the front. The sides of the head are pretty much the same. It's like the little opening above the cheek and little cheek area there. But then for the actual mask, we've got a big visor, and then the face is just like a couple of, like, you got these like bulging pieces just layered on the front of it, and then you have like a big mouthpiece in the middle, though. Very Jim/gun cannon-esque head going on here. And then for the SR3's head, we've got what seems to be a sort of Gundam-style head underneath. You do have like an elongated chin, but it's a very Gundam head underneath. But like the forehead visor kind of reminds me of like the Advanced Hazel or something, where you've got this like big camera unit on the front, but rather than having a mono eye, it just has the camera located on the front of it. And then attached around the head. Now this is technically on the backpack, but we see it attached to the head here, so I'll just talk about it all together, is a large radome unit. And it's just a big dome going around. You've got these parts on top that light up when it is in use. They are dark in the setting art here. Then you have some fins along the back. Very much, though, evoking, like, the Dragon R3's radome head. It's just, on this design, though, they made it so the radome is able to pull back off of the head if it needs to just use the normal head, which is kind of neat. Moving on to the torso, this is the same on all of them. We've got it is very much just doing the Easy 8 torso thing. You've got these pieces on the upper sides that are just like these white parts. They have a cleft in the middle of them going into the back. For the armor, you've got like a frontal plate that looks like it would pop open. I believe, again, this is just doing, like, we don't see it do the Easy 8 thing, but, the Easy 8's chest plate is designed to pop open easily, so this kind of is doing that. It does have this extra little fin on the left side that just sticks forward, which is kind of interesting. And then on the stomach area, you have a little pod that is meant to... Again, I don't think we actually see it use it, but it's like the Vulcan pod that is on the chest of the Easy 8, that little, anti-infantry gun is what it looks like it has on the chest there. And then below that you have some, like a little white chest part that would be a cockpit hatch if this was like a real machine, but not a Gunpla. And then you have two squared off, like, kind of bellowed torso parts going down. The front one does have a bit of it, like, elongating downward into the one that's connected into the waist. But yeah, and then it's also got, the way the colors are proportioned, it's got these, like, white plates on the sides of the torso as well. Moving on to the shoulder units. So for the shoulders, they all have this, like, big pack piece on the front of it, and then a bit of armor that is protecting the front and back. Where all of them differ is on the sides of the armor. The Unit 1 has shoulders that stick out decently far. Just kind of a Jim Custom style is kind of what was in my head. The Ez-SR-2 just opts for a more standard Gundam shoulder, with having, like, this sort of, like, open thruster piece. It kind of evokes, like, the Mark II or something to me here. And then the SR-3, for its shoulder attachment on the outside upper area, has these camera parts. It has, like, a circular camera and these, like, flat rectangular ones located in there. Another rectangular camera on the top. And then it has these flat, almost like wing-like protrusions. You can even see it looks like they have, like, front and back movement, like the way that they're designed, like these wings. And then also laid on the top are these little jamming pods, is what these are. Which, these are fun. We'll get into those when we get into the actual armaments, but yeah, so... similar base shoulder, but then, like, a different piece connected into them for each one. As for the arms themselves, you've got a very boxy shoulder piece and a very boxy bicep. Not a lot of detail on it. Very standard kind of joint going on here, too, where you've just got, like, the big block joint to imply a double joint. For the forearms, you have these, like, kind of like it's like a little buckler attached to each one, but each one has, like, a bit of different equipment at the end of them. So you have this like white armor piece, and then the outside is like a shield with like a little hexagon piece on the outside, and where it changes is on the front of these. So the Ez-SR-1 has electromagnetic knuckle covers here, so these are for allowing it to just punch and deliver electricity when punching. On the SR2, it has these little like wrist Vulcans. Okay, apparently on all of these, well, at least on these two, these are head Vulcans, by the way. Just calling them out because I did realize those are head Vulcans on the SR1 and 2. Anyway, then these are also wrist Vulcans on the SR2. And then for the SR3, I believe these are just shields. These are just, yeah. Apparently, it does actually have a sensor equipment inside of it, but it is just, a cover. It isn't the least decorative of all of these. And then the hands are hands. It's just a hand cover on the back and pretty standard manipulators. For the crotch piece, it's interesting the way that this is designed, because the way this is drawn, it looks like it's, even though like it has like a separate piece on top with different texturing, it almost just looks like it's all panel lining just because the way it runs together here. So it's just like a boxy crotch piece with two simple front skirts. The front skirts are just big rectangular pieces. They have like a little panel line that, and a little part that goes a little deeper on the upper right of them. Like there's a bit of a bevel here, or like a, not an emboss, like, yeah, I guess it would be just like a bevel, just deepens a little bit there. For the side skirts, just square side skirts with, I believe these are just extra ammo packs attached into the side for the rifles. Or for, actually they don't use, do they use the beam rifle? I can't remember. Either way,
they use the beam rifle on the Intruder.
Yeah, I'm wondering if these are, these might just actually, no, these aren't the beam sabers. Yeah, these they just look like extra ammo packs is what these look like. But I was like, wait, that's a one-year war rifle. It wouldn't have ammo packs. But whatever. Anyway, moving on. That's what these look like, though. Funnily, that is not where the beam saber is stored, though, because that's where it's stored on the EZ8. But that is not where they are stored on these designs. The 2 and 3 don't even have beam sabers, and then the 1 keeps its beam saber in the left forearm covers. And technically, I guess it would be able to put it in both, but it only has one in the left forearm cover for what we see. Anyway. Then moving on to the legs, very simple thighs going on here. Just, plain thigh. No real decoration or anything, no panel lines. Very simple joint here. The lower legs are these are like the parts that are pretty much just like the EZ8, like, in shape, because this uses parts of the EZ8 high grade also. Like, this was designed, to be one of those models that they can use existing parts from. You do have a tall knee. That's actually like a new part for it. You have a very tall knee with like a little white piece embedded in the middle of it. And then, funnily, the Ez-SR-1 actually has slightly taller knees than the other two. The Ez-SR-2, you've got like the right knee only is like this flat knee cover, and it looks like it would be like, it has like a bit of movement, because the idea is it would go down on one knee while firing the shoulder cannon,
Sure.
So, just for bracing. The left part is a little different. It's just not as tall, but it's still like, a somewhat tall knee piece with white armor in it. It's just not quite as tall. And then the Ez-SR-3 uses the same exact one as the SR-2, just on both knees, rather than having the cover on the right knee. Then the inner part of the calf, you have this like hexagonal flat bit of armor that sticks out a bit. The outer part, you have like an outer, presumably like a little thruster pod or something, just on the outer calf there that sticks out. And then as you move down, you get this bit of ankle armor that is embedded into the leg armor that has a bit of movement on it. You have that on both the front, and you actually have a moving piece on the back of the ankle as well. It does have like a little extra flap that sticks out on the front, and then it has these little fins that also are wedged out. Yeah.
I don't know how we missed this before, but the identity of these things, because it's just copying the EZ8 skirt. These are magazines for the 100mm machine gun.
Oh, that's what those are. Okay. Yeah, I was like, those look like one of the magazines, very similar. Okay, yeah, it's sort of, This is the 100mm machine gun. That makes
sense. So
sense.
they're reloads for a gun they don't have.
Yeah. That I think the model does come with, though. Let me double check. I mean, the model, again, it's based off the Ez-SR. I mean, these guys are an enemy of the week. They don't get a very good showing. And Try, as I got reminded while watching it for GGP, God, the booking in Try. Because it turns out when you make there be 3 guys you need to show off and 3 opponents, it's much harder to do the booking in a 30-minute show, you know?
Sure.
I feel like it's just simply a mistake to do that, but they did it. Oh, you know what? Okay. So it's interesting, because it doesn't show up in the setting art here, but we'll talk about it when we get to the SR3's equipment. There is a bit of difference on the, Oh, I see what it is. I see what's actually different on the left arm for the Ez-SR. Never mind. Sorry. Anyway. Moving on, though. The foot, though, the one other major change from the Ez-8 is these feet. You've got, like, an ankle piece that is circular here, and they're very tall feet. You've got, like, a bit of armor cover on the front of the foot, and then the bottom of the feet are white. You have this, like, toe piece with, like, a cleft in it, and then you have a kind of a high-ish heel. Very tall feet, though. It doesn't really evoke high heels in the same way as, like, something like the Advanced Hazelwood or whatever, but very tall. And very compressed. They're not very long. Anyway, moving on to the backpack. That's the other thing that is different on each of these units. So, let me just pull these up real quick. Just put them in front of them when we talk about them. But they use like a same base backpack, but then they modify what parts are on the hard points of it. And then finally, there's this. Alright. So, the base backpack that they all share is like a big gray middle piece that has 2 connection points on the upper part of it. It's actually a pretty tall backpack because it goes all the way down and actually has a part that runs like actually lower than the rear skirt. Like you've got another like wedge on the bottom that has 2 more attachment points, and then this big stabilizer that runs down the back middle. And that's the part that goes like lower than the rear skirt even. So, all 3 of them have attached to the bottom hard points these thruster units that are able to like rotate about. Again, they're very simple in the sete, but this is because this is a show that just... The build shows a very simple setting art, even when they have pretty good animation. You can see a bit more detail on these here, though. It's, you know, they're just like rotating thrusters. They look very similar to like the, like on the Dove and Wolf's legs, like the leg thrusters from the Dove and Wolf or something, those big... They just have the same shape as that, but moved to the backpack here. I'm trying to think of other things that have like this kind of shape for a thruster, but yeah, that's what it makes me think of. So it's got those. You can also see the way this tail stabilizer can like move up and down here on the model kit. And like this whole tail mechanism can even move from right there a bit. And then for the upper area, the Intruder has 2 thruster pods here. Just, you know, they are kind of tall and they have like a big thruster on the bottom of them and they are able to rotate a bit. For the Ez-SR Eliminator, the right side has a modified version of the 180mm cannon that is used on the, you know, like the Ez-8 and the Ground Gundam, but with like, it just has like an extra piece so that it can attach onto this hardpoint here. I believe it is upside down from how we normally see... No, that is how we see it wielded, right, with the ammo on top, and then, yeah, because that's the handle that it would normally hold with the, with like one of the arms. And then on the left hardpoint, we've got this extremely large boxy missile pod that's got 6 doors on it. It's just like a big box. And then it's, again, much like all the others, it's able to rotate, like, you know, on that white piece there. Then finally, for the Intruder, or sorry, for the Shadow Phantom, we've got these 2 white parts, and these are attached... It doesn't really make it clear here in this design, but these are attached into the radome to actually show how it looks on the model kit and not on this where it looks kind of... It's specifically on that left side, the perspective looks off, especially with how it's shaded, but you can see this is what it does. It attaches into the radome. So it's just 2 latches for that. And then that way the radome can pull back when necessary. Alright, so to talk about the equipment that each one of these uses. For the SR-1, besides the head Vulcans, we have the swivel Vulcans in the chest of all 3 of these as well. Then we have the electromagnetic knuckle, as mentioned, as a melee weapon. For the left arm, just to show where the beam sabers are stored, it does store... Okay, so the reason it doesn't store them in each arm... Oh, right, okay, so this is an attachment that we don't actually see on the show one, like the setting art here. Here we go. Sorry, it attaches... This is a hard point, by the way, the little hexagon on the outside. See. So, yeah, so I was thinking the way it was worded on the wiki with it saying behind, I was like, is it behind that? But then looking at the model, no, it's just like a saber rack. Very simple. Cool thing with this is, even though it doesn't do it in the show, I think on the model kit, which is what I did because I have the model of this, I think it is really cool if you use those as, like, wrist-mounted sabers. And, like, you know, just activate them on the rack there. Especially considering, like, you know, it's already got, like, other punch weapon on the arm. It just feels like it fits. Just to show the model off, by the way, just because the model has, theoretically, like, what I would call maybe the quote-unquote intended detail level of the design. You know, obviously, still wants you to panel line it, but you can see... Like, there's a bit more detail going on with, like, the skirts and whatnot. Just kind of an important note. Oh, these little chest wedges right here, because they were simplified, I didn't notice what was going on with them.
But they're a different color, yeah.
Well, they're the hook, is what they're supposed to be.
See.
Like, from the EZ-8 also. That's just a carryover from the EZ-8's design. Just funny. And then, again, you can see the shoulders have a lot more, like, little details on them. Just much better looking as a model kit. And again, in the show it looks fine. It's just the sete for build fighters tends to be very, I want to say blobby, maybe. It's very simple. It's done, again, it's an animation reference. I get why it is that way, but it's just not the greatest thing to look at. Anyway. The final bit of equipment, though, is this has a short-barreled version of the EZ-8's beam rifle. Just to show that off on the model kit. Well, I have the review up. It just changes out the barrel for a very short barrel here. But otherwise, that design of the machine or of the beam rifle is overall the same. So, you know.
Because this is supposed to be the close range unit, and so giving it a short-barreled rifle for a close combat, I guess.
Yeah, well, it makes it able to, you know, if it needs to get in there. Here are all the leftover parts, by the way, so yeah, it is not intended to use these, theoretically, given that these are placed with the leftovers, but it has the 100mm machine gun, and yeah, you can see that those are the 100mm machine gun clips there, though. But yeah, these are like the leftover parts that you have once you're finished building the SR unit.
Oh, that's kind of interesting. The narrow part here is the feeder. I see.
Anyway, then moving on to... So that's all the equipment that the SR-1 has. It's just, you know, Vulcans, the Knuckles, Beam Saber, and Short Barrel. Again, this is kind of the high mobility, short range guy. Then we've got the Eliminator, which is very obviously the artillery guy. So, this does not have a handheld gun. It just uses the guns that are on its backpack. It uses the 180mm, which is, again, just the easy 180mm, but put onto the backpack, and then it's got this missile launcher, which I believe that missile launcher is a new design. That's not the same missile launcher that they use in, like, on the Ground Gundam or anything.
Yeah, it's, you know, combining some common elements. It kind of has, like, the command Gundam position and stuff, but, you know.
And a thing that it can't come with on the model, that it does have, though, in the show, is it has optical camouflage cloak. So, you know, that's fun. You can see it, like, moving that out of the way in this screenshot from the show. Very much doing the, you know, optical camouflage. There you go. And then for the SR Shadow Phantom, it uses the regular beam rifle from the EZ-8. And then It actually uses a modified version of the EZH shield. This is what I had been thrown off by. So, the little bucklers on the arms, just to show this, you can see on the model kit, they do have openings, which are meant to be like sensor equipment.
Mm-hmm.
However, it also uses, and you can see actually the way the head looks with the... It looks almost bald when you remove the radome, which is funny. It also... kind of fun inclusion. It actually has a door for the radome. Like, the idea is it, the door
Kind
would
of does
slide
a
open.
Dagdoll.
Yeah, exactly. It's very much like the Dagdoll's like back piece and how that works. So it has the door when it's not on the back. That makes it just a big back radome. So it has the EZH shield, but then instead of the normal punching equipment, it has a large camera unit equipped to it instead. So just a big camera. And then we mentioned those jamming pods on the shoulders. So here's what those look like when they are deployed. They, Nope. Don't replace that image with an image from the show. They launch and then they pop open and they make it so you can't communicate. It's a jamming bug, You know what it does.
Mm-hmm.
It fucks up the enemy's radar and whatnot. Kind of a fun thing just to show off here. When I mentioned that the radome glows when in use, you can see that in this screenshot here. It has like a weird kind of almost golden glow on the inside of it. And yeah, that's pretty much that for that one. These machines are neat, but whenever I build them, let me see if I have the pictures of mine. I do the same thing that the other variations we have are going to do, which is to say, these are kind of boring on their own. What if we just combined all the parts so that we had a machine that actually feels like it could stand on its own, rather than these really hyper-specialized machines that don't have a lot going on necessarily?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we'll be talking about the variants of this, and those do that too, but I did that when I got it as well. Because again, I like the idea going on here, but just building one of these guys as just the guy that it is feels like it would be really boring. HG... Oh, is it... Do I have it as, HG Try if I have it? I don't actually know how I would have that, How I would have that organized.
Yeah.
It's funny. Okay. Oh, I did. HGBF. Okay, here we are. So, yeah, for my version of it, just to show a picture here, taken a long time ago, you can see, though, I changed... I gave it the... I believe... Oh, did I actually paint the face, or is that just, a weird lighting on that? Let's see. Oh, right, I think the face, actually, on the model kit, I think that chin and that face for it are, all white. You would have to do, a sticker to do the gray, but...
Oh, huh.
Yeah. Anyway, you can see, though, I gave it, I mixed up the equipment on it a bit. I gave it the wrist sabers on the right arm because, again, there's no reason not to, because that's just an empty hard point.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the left arm, I actually did a really fun thing. I had an extra connection piece on the left arm. So, what I did was I attached the 180mm to that. And I also...
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. And then I gave both arms, I believe I gave both arms the knuckle explosion. Probably couldn't use it too well here. Though my idea was that basically once it fired off this equipment, once it got into close combat, it would just eject that off because I'm a nerd and I think about that kind of thing. But yeah, so, it's a fun model to toy around with because of all the sheer amount of extra parts. Which is one of those things where I'm just like, why would I just build it as one of these base forms, though?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's so much you can do with it. And, to be fair... the Naoki thought of that too, because there's a couple of variations that we can talk about here that I really enjoy. Let me see if I, okay, yeah, the order would be first the Ez-SR-MAXIMA, and then there's one other one after that we'll talk about, but yeah, so let's pull up the Maxima. Also, the nice thing is because these are for a manga, they have all the detail actually drawn on them.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, even if they didn't have extra equipment, they would probably still look much better.
So yeah, so the Ez-SR-MAXIMA here, it's interesting because it's not just all the parts put together, though. This does have some unique changes to talk about. I'm also pulling up the model real quick because they did do P-Bandais of these.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, which is yeah. I just never thought I was gonna do they were gonna do those. Plus, I could get the Ez-SR. I believe I got it when it was on sale because it's not. It's kind of a shelf warmer, if I'm being honest, from what I could see on its stock of websites. So, yeah. Anyway. Alright, so... God, this is old enough that... sorry, just to show this on the box, by the way. It's not P-Bandai, sorry. This is when it was the, when they're still doing the Bandai Hobby Pro Shop. I think this actually may have only been sold in a store, rather than being on, the online shop. But, you know, there's also... Because it does... The other one we'll talk about has the more standard, like, P-Bandai one-color box. But I still don't think it was called Premium Bandai yet. Because Premium Bandai is, like, I want to say, like, 2017, 2018 is when they finally brand that properly. Anyway. So, for this design, the head is mostly the Ez-SR Intruder's head, but with a new, like, forehead jewel and V-fin setup. So the forehead jewel actually has, like, a camera embedded in it. It also has red running around it. Then, I should say this machine's colors are red, white, and blue. But in a way that I think looks neat when I would normally not like these colors.
It's overwhelmingly blue, white white, like, to break things up, and then a tiny bit of red.
Yeah, like, it's got, the only piece that's red is, like, this forehead piece, and then the rest is, like, decals.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then the V-fin, though, very much reminds me of, like, an IBO style V-fin or something like the Flaros is, because it's, like, a flat piece, and then a swept back horn that is, like, very flat on the sides and very pointy. It just reminds me a lot of the Flaros, specifically. And then, but the face and whatnot are just the Ez-SR Intruder head. It's the very standard Gundam head. You can see the little cheek Vulcans, you know, the face mask is the same, etc. The torso is mostly similar, but it has some extra white armor put, like, on the sides of it, right here. Like, it basically it's just got, like, extra armor on the upper chest. The other major change is this swivel gun is now switched to a double set of guns rather than a single one. So you can see, like, the two, like, up and down little swiveling turrets in there. Still very low caliber, clearly, given the size of the barrels, but Naoki did bother to change those, which is kind of fun. The lower chest, though, and all that is the same. The shoulders are new, and they actually don't even change what you would expect. You would think, oh, did he make yet another one of these? No, it's actually a new base shoulder part. It has the same shape for the blue armor, but then running around the front and top of it, you've got this, like, kind of like, it's like white, like a white fin on the bottom, and then just these, like, big upper plates that pop up. Just tall plates of armor, I guess maybe for protecting the, like, backpack thrusters or something, just in case from, like, small arms.
Yeah.
And then it has, you know, the shape of it is kind of similar to the SR2 with the overall shape and just having, like, the little flat piece here and whatnot. But, and then the bicep and everything, those are all the same. When you get to the forearms, it's using the electromagnetic knuckles. For the skirts, these are another new part. The skirt now has this large, like, square box piece on the base of it that is blue on top, white on the bottom. The side skirts have been changed. Looks like maybe to have... I don't know if these are... What is...
They look like E-Packs.
They look like E-Packs, yeah, that's the thing. But I don't know what's up with that. But anyway... So it has those, though, on the side skirts. It's a new design, though, so they are, like, slightly longer, flat, white skirts. They have a bit of extra armor around the top, and then it looks like it has, like, these E-packs, like, you know, in the bottom of them. And then the rear skirt is just the big flat plate, as expected. The thighs are the same, though. The lower legs, it's using the SR2's knee part, like the little bracing part for the knee here, which is because it has the 180mm cannon, so, you know, that way you can still brace on it. I do like seeing the extra detail here. The model kit also does this for the SR2's knee, where it gives it, like, the little, you know, like, cuts in it. It just makes it look more dynamic than it just being a big flat piece. And then the rest of the leg, though, is identical. Again, just more detail, but it is supposed to be the same overall design. And then for the backpack, it is using the... It is using a weird mix of parts. I need to look at the model to see how they do this, because it has the thrusters from the SR1 clearly here. But then attached to that is the radome. For that, like in the middle.
It seems like perhaps it can't fold up anymore.
Yeah, I wonder if the radome is just connected into like the... Okay, I see how this is. Oh, weird. So, on the model kit, the exclusive kit, is really easy to see here. I'm sad the model kit is so like blue rather than this nice purplish blue, but the thrusters have a hard point added to the side of them that then mounts these the radome on it. So that way the thrusters can still move and the radome can still move, but also they won't like blast the thrusters into the radome or whatever. Funnily, also attached into the sides of the radome are the shoulder parts from the SR3, like the little wings and the jammer pods, which is fun. And the extra cameras. Now, they can't really see from here, obviously, but, you know, theoretically they're looking up, and if you're firing the jammer pods, they're going up anyway, so it's fine. But, yeah. And then the lower part of the backpack is the same. It's just the double thrusters and that, like, tail piece. Another thing of equipment that goes on weird here, so this little shoulder piece, even though it looks flat here, does actually have an alternate, like, mounting part, so it can mount the missile pod from the SR2. Also from the SR2, it mounts, not the way I did it on mine, but it mounts the 180mm cannon on the right arm hardpoint there. And it just would swivel around and fire from there. So yeah. And then it's using the short beam rifle, and then it's using the EZ-8 shield with the camera on it. It's a bit of a maximalist version of the design, but I just, again, I think the design needs it to actually stick out and make it look better, in my opinion.
I mean, Naoki has his usual taste. I think his colors are very good here, and the extra light work is very much appreciated, but I do think the way this is put together is a little silly. I still basically like it, but...
Here's the P Bandai, so definitely an older one, unfortunately. Lots of sticker color correction to do and whatnot, but, you know. Now to talk about the one that I like a lot, personally. The Ez-SR-FOXHOUND. So this is an upgrade of the Maxima. Shows up in the same thing, it's like the Hobby imaging builders. And, yeah, so this one, it's the same thing, but in fucking, like, G-Arcane colors. It's like orange and white. And it's got, like, a brownish gray, which is kind of fun.
It's got some slightly different equipment, too, which we'll get to.
Yes. Yeah, so, this keeps a lot of the changes from the SR-MAXIMA in terms of, like, the shoulders, the chest plate, and the skirts. This changes the head, though, and it's not quite the SR3 head. It's like, it's the SR3 head, but with, like, these extra little fins on it. Because this one doesn't use the radome either. On the head, at least.
Which Advance of Seda unit am I thinking of here?
Advanced Hazel or something again, probably, right?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. It's similar to the Ez-SR3, but it's got extra cameras, like, on the base of the bottom of it, and it has these extra fins on the side. Also, a different mohawk design. Like, it's got, like, instead of just using the base mohawk of the design, it's got this, like, extra white piece that goes over the front that then has a camera, which is fun. I like the color layout, though, on this a lot. And then, in terms of the equipment and whatnot, do you have the pictures of the... I just thought you would use the Hobby imaging stuff again.
I do. Just real quick, I'm going to post just for anyone. God damn it, why are you like this? Advanced Hazel, just have the quick, that little head thing over. But, yes, let me get that. I was going to get the one that best shows off the equipment.
Yeah.
Which is this one from the Hobby imaging, as Dylan just said.
Yep. So, we got we got one new piece of equipment. It kind of does the same thing with the backpack, right? It's got the thrusters, it's got the radome. It can still do the shoulder-mounted part. It drops the... Well, it technically still has the 180mm, but you can see it's not wielding it here. It seems like it drops the 180mm in favor of the beam rifle now has this large barrel piece attached to it. So it's a large white barrel that is very square and then has these like little cuts in the side of it and then this extra part on the bottom of it. So it like uses a long barrel version of the rifle. I think it just looks a bit more elegant when you do that with it. Now, of course, it comes with the 180mm rifle and the or cannon, and then still has the mounting stuff, so you can still mount it on the arm there, but I don't think you necessarily need it. You got this cool big square rifle. There's the P-Bandai kit. Honestly, by virtue of just what the colors are, I think this one turns out a bit better, even with still needing some color correction on it.
Yeah, this one's cool.
I like this machine, though, a lot. It is really funny when you look at the extra stuff that comes with these. So, this is what it looks like, by the way, just out of box. But, the extra parts that it has... So, not only does it have extra parts from the Ez-SRs that it doesn't use, which makes sense, much like the Maxima had, but then it has the Ez-SR-MAXIMA's head also as an extra part. It's just funny. And then there's the rest of the extra parts there. But yeah. The Foxhound, though, this one's cool. This one's just, again, doing the same thing. This one's built by Nils. I don't know if... Does he even pilot it? Might be automated knowing Nils, actually, if I'm being honest.
Sure.
Might be.
As good.
I mean,
yeah.
These mention that they are for gathering data. So...
Or they could be like he made them for, subordinates to use or something.
Yeah. Anyway, I think these variations are way cooler than the base version, though. I love these colors and whatnot. They're neat. I also like that they go with like a purple for the radome when it's like lit up on this instead of the gold with the just kind of a fun color like this pink lilac-y color inside of there. But yeah. Anyway, cool machines. And I think that's it, though. I think that's everything related to the Ez-SR.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna give a little apology to folks. It's been a wild afternoon for trucks driving down the tiny street outside my house at max speed. You're gonna hear some wild sounds that I probably can't get out. So it goes.
I mean, yeah, it happens.
Trucks aren't allowed on this road. It's illegal. They don't care.
Oh. Wait, is your house located on a main road or?
No.
Why are they going down your road?
If you're it is a convenient east-west because the big roads around here are north-south, and if you want to go east-west between north-south roads, it is a convenient access.
Okay, interesting. Oh, just to show off some little things at the end anyway, since this is still a relatively quick episode in spite of the units. Real quick, just because Schizophonic did use the leftover parts to show off just in these colors.
Sort of a Foxhound Intruder, yeah.
Yeah, and then the SR2 and then the SR3. Just kind of fun. See the other colors. But yeah. Alright. Anyway. Alright, with that, 6, where can people find you and your work online?
You can find me on Blue Sky 6 Detmar on there. You can also find my work at scanlimedia.com or patreon.com/scanlimedia, and you can talk to us over on the Scanli Media Discord if you want to make requests. Next week is going to be a request episode, and perhaps it could be yours. And also you could just talk to us. We like talking about stuff. Dylan, what about you?
Find me over at Low Poly Robot over on Blue Sky, and just post things I'm interested in there. So, alright.
Alright.
Well.
Alright. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Peace out.
Peace.